Welcome to LDL6 called Lockdown Lecture 6. In last lecture, we have studied about the comparison of SN1 and SN2 mechanism. S stands for substrate and stands for nucleophile. It's a substrate nucleophilic reaction. We have discussed both the type of reactions called bimolecular substitution reaction and a unimolecular substitution reaction. We know that the difference between SN2 and SN1 is the rate of reaction depends on both substrate as well as a nucleophile is known as SN2 reaction or SN2 mechanism. Or those reactions in which the rate of reaction depends only on a substrate. No nucleophile is involved in a rate determining step, which is a slow step of a reaction, is called SN1 mechanism. In today's lecture, we'll discuss those compounds can produce or then can follow SN1 or SN2 mechanism, which two different type of products they will obtain or they will produce by following the different mechanism and or effect of a SN1 and SN2 mechanism on a product formation. For that, we'll take an example of 2-bromo-3-methyl-butane. This topic is termed as a rearrangement of carbocation, which is not there in our CBSE textbook as a topic, but it's an additional topic to understand the stability of a carbocation and how the reactions will follow SN1 and SN2 mechanism. It's an additional topic, but most important one for your board exams as well as for your competitive exams. Let's discuss by taking an example of 2-bromo-3-methyl-butane, an alkyl halide in which halogen is associated with a carbon and that carbon combines with two other carbon atoms. That's why it is called a secondary alkyl halide. Being a secondary alkyl halide, it can follow SN1 as well as SN2 mechanism. Let's see SN2 mechanism followed by 2-bromo-3-methyl. First carbon, second carbon, third carbon and fourth carbon. Second carbon has a bromine, third carbon has a methyl branch. That's what is called 2-bromo-3-methyl-butane. For 2-bromo-3-methyl-butane, when this compound attacked by the nucleophile like hydroxyl group following SN2 mechanism. Which mechanism? SN2. We know that SN2 mechanism, making and breaking of bond occurs simultaneously. OH group will attack from the opposite side, of the halogen which is present in an alkyl chain or which is present on an alkyl chain, and that's why this Br will be substituted by the OH to produce the compound CH3, CH, CH3, CH, CH3 and OH, called the carbon called first carbon, second carbon, third carbon and fourth carbon, or a second carbon containing OH group. That means on a second carbon the Br gets substituted by the hydroxyl group. It's a major product according to SN2 mechanism in which making and breaking of bond occurs simultaneously. But if the same compound undergoing or following SN1 mechanism, we know that in SN1 mechanism, we'll get a carbocation as an intermediate. For the formation of carbocation, we'll remove Br from this carbon first and a positive charge acquired by this carbon produce a carbocation. This carbocation is secondary in nature, secondary carbocation. It's the first step of the reaction in which a making of bond occurs because it follows SN1 mechanism. You know that SN1 mechanism completes in two different stages. Stage 1 will get an intermediate compound in form of a carbocations we are having. Afterwards, OH group will attack to this carbocation. But before attacking the OH group, this carbocation will undergo rearrangement reaction. What follows or tends to follow is a rearrangement reaction. We know that we have three types of carbocation in form of primary, secondary and tertiary. And out of this primary, secondary and tertiary, the tertiary is the most stable carbocation. According to the mechanism, each and every species tends to stabilize itself, and that's why if possible, this secondary carbocation also wants or converts itself into the tertiary one. For conversion of this secondary carbocation to the tertiary one, hydrogen from this carbon can shift it to the adjacent carbon containing positive charge, called hydride shift. Hydride shift. Because of this hydride shift, hydrogen from this carbon shifted to this carbon results in the formation of CH3, CH3. This carbon having only one hydrogen, now this hydrogen adds to this carbon to produce CH2, CH3, and this carbon will acquire a positive charge, converts itself into the tertiary carbocation. And that means because of the hydride shift, the secondary carbocation is converted into the tertiary carbocation. Afterwards, when OH associates with this carbon, it produces tertiary alcohol instead of a secondary alcohol. Here, by following SN2 mechanism, the major product is a secondary alcohol. But by following SN1 mechanism, we'll get a tertiary alcohol as a major product. We'll also have a secondary alcohol as a product, but it's a minor product by following SN1 mechanism. The shift is called hydride shift, and it is due to the stability of a carbocation. That means the tertiary carbocation is more stable than that of a secondary, and if possible, the reaction will tend to attain stability and produces a tertiary carbocation from the secondary carbocation by hydride shift. Here we are discussing the rearrangement of carbocation. SN1 tends to produce a rearrangement of carbocation. We know that SN2 mechanism has a no intermediate state, it only possesses a transition state, and that's why no carbocation is produced. So rearrangement of carbocation, this topic is only related to the SN1 mechanism, but here we have a comparison how SN2 and SN1 will produce a different compound. The reason is when we follow SN2 mechanism, we'll get a secondary alcohol, a OH group associated with carbon, that carbon combines with two other carbon atoms, that's why it's called a secondary alcohol. But by following SN1 mechanism, for the same compound, when it follows SN1 mechanism, instead of a secondary alcohol, the major product is a tertiary alcohol. And what is the reason behind it? The reason is rearrangement of carbocation due to hydride shift. This hydride shift enables us to produce a tertiary carbocation from the secondary one, and that's why, if possible, we have to convert it into the tertiary carbocation, and afterwards, OH will associate with that carbon to produce a tertiary alcohol as a major product. It's a rearrangement of carbocation. Take a look for the two reaction. We'll again take the same example and try to explain the difference between the two different products when a hydride shift is occurring. This rearrangement can be achieved through two different mechanisms. One is hydride shift and the second is 1,2 alkyl shift. Here we have noticed that hydrogen gets shifted from one carbon to another. Instead of hydrogen, when one of the alkyl group gets substituted or shifted from one carbon to other, it is called alkyl shift. So we have two different methods for the formation of a stable carbocation. First one is hydride shift. Again we'll take the same example, CH3, CH, CH3, CH, Br, CH3. By following SN1 mechanism, we have two different products for this reaction. Without hydride shift, what happens? Br will be substituted by the OH group in two different stages, and OH substituting the Br to produce a secondary alcohol. Secondary alcohol obtains by the substitution of Br by following SN1 mechanism. But if hydride shift occur, that means with hydride shift, or with hydrogen shifting, again we'll take the intermediate step. First we'll remove Br from this carbon to produce CH3, CH, CH3, CH and CH3. It's a secondary carb cation that we are having as an intermediate compound. This secondary carb cation tends to convert itself into the tertiary by shifting of hydrogen, because by converting itself into the tertiary one, it gets more stability. And we know that every species stabilizes itself. So if possible, we have to convert the secondary carb cation to the tertiary one. This is done through the shifting of hydrogen, called hydrogen shifting process, and the secondary is changing to the tertiary one. After the conversion of a secondary carb cation to the tertiary one, the OH group, hydroxyl group, attacks this tertiary carb cation and it produces a major product in form of a tertiary alcohol. So out of this secondary and tertiary, both are possible, or out of this secondary and tertiary product, the major product is a tertiary alcohol and a minor product is a secondary alcohol due to the rearrangement of a carb cation called hydrogen shifting. With the hydrogen shifting, it is possible. So tertiary carb cation will change to the tertiary alcohol, and that's why rearrangement is an important process. In your examination, if the question will be there as a which one is a major product out of the given reactions or for the given reaction, then if possible, the secondary carb cation should be considered or converted into the tertiary one. If primary is given, should be considered or converted into the secondary one. So more stability or more stabilized product should be the major product through hydrogen shifting. We can also achieve the tertiary carb cation or more stable carb cation by shifting of methyl group. By shifting of a methyl group, let's take the methyl shifting for the rearrangement of a carb cation. Methyl shifting. Here we have 2-bromo 3,3-dimethyl butane. First carbon, second carbon, third carbon, fourth carbon. In this compound, Br present on the second carbon gets substituted by the OH group by following SN1 mechanism. But for SN1 mechanism, we know that we'll get a intermediate carb cation. The intermediate carb cation produced by removal of the halogen produces CH3, C, CH3, CH3, CH, CH3, a positive charge on a given carbon cation or removal of a Br will produce a positive charge on this carbon. Similarly, we have a second option for production of a carbon cation by the same process. We have taken two different cases, case 1, case 2. Case 1, when no alkyl group is shifted, or alkyl shifting that we are taking, alkyl shifting for the formation of a more stable carbon cation. Case 1, no shifting. No shifting. That means no alkyl group gets shifted. And that means now OH will attack to this secondary carbon cation to produce the product as a secondary alcohol. It's a secondary alcohol that we are having without shifting the alkyl group. The option 2, shifting of alkyl group. Here we have a possibility of a shifting of alkyl group. Shifting of this alkyl group to this carbon will result in the formation of another stable carbon cation, which is a tertiary carbon cation. The produced tertiary carbon cation now gets attacked by the hydroxyl group and results in the formation of a tertiary alcohol. So if possible, we have to convert the secondary carbon cation to the tertiary carbon cation, and that will be the major product, and the first one is a minor product. So when the reaction will follow SN1 mechanism, it will have two different type of product, minor product and a major product, in case when carbon cation undergoing rearrangement reaction. So it's a rearrangement of a carbon cation to produce a two different type of product by following SN1 mechanism. It's an additional topic not given in a textbook as a theory, but its applications are there in your exercise questions. When we'll solve the exercise question, again I'll mention that we have studied the topic of rearrangement of carbon cation through hydrogen shifting or alkyl shifting. Here we have two different topics for the rearrangement of carbon cation, hydrogen shifting and alkyl shifting. Here we conclude this topic for the formation of a carbon cation or rearrangement of a carbon cation. The next lecture will discuss the optical phenomena or optical isomerism for the product produced by SN1 and SN2 mechanism, or optical aspect of SN1 and SN2 mechanism. Optical. Now, optical isomerism, this word you have studied in 11th standard, but we have detailed explanation of optical isomerism related to this chapter. We'll discuss in a next lecture. Thank you.